because, Carlos, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you, Carlos. I'm not scared of you, TJ. I am not scared of you, Justin. I am not scared. I don't care what you have. It's irrelevant because I do not negotiate with terrorists. And you're all going to prison.
And I want you to say, I never told you because it didn't happen. And then I'm going to go ahead and handle my business and get the deal done. Say it. Because I need that right now.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Support this great content by hitting the Cash App and by joining the Patreon.
And we have Ben Armstrong speaking to the Hulkamaniacs. And like I stated, guys, that is very entertaining. But getting over into reality. Don't fall for the distractions. And we have the Fed tightening the housing market. Right now, you get 40% less home. But guys, what are people going to do? They're going to go to those variable rates and end up with no job. We've seen this movie before. And then we have car delinquencies just as high as the 2008 crisis. And when you look at these car payments, they look like the old house payments. And guys, we know the NWO caused the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. The fragmented world. And remember, they have to break up everything. And they don't want home ownership. Remember, you will own nothing, but you will be happy. When you look at the cars, guys, we know they don't want car ownership. That's the reason why the cars that are going to be made with no pedal, no steering wheel, and AI will be able to operate them. So looking at the economy, guys, we already know we're in a recession, but we're going to be headed into a Great Depression. Why? Because they're going to bring the people to their knees in order to bring in the robots, algorithms, and drones, so therefore they can take over the economy. And remember, they'll be able to pay each other because they now have crypto. So when you look at all the pieces to the puzzle and you put them together, you can clearly see the picture. That's the reason why we have these auto strikes. That's the reason why the government shutdown is looming. That's why we have all these movies going on, the bank man, Biden, Trump, and we hear the drums are beating. And that's all to distract the masses. So therefore the NWO can run the money in the back door in order to build this fourth industrial revolution. And you know the Crypto Teacher gives you the truth, nothing but the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. And remember, my people perish from the lack of knowledge. Why? Because they reject it. Not because it's not there, because they reject it. And we see in this world, people are worried about things that just don't matter. They program that way. But by the time the sheep wake up, the machines would have already taken over the economy. And they will be headed to the metaverse to get downloaded and get that free money airdrop to them. But little do they know, they have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. Telling them what, when, and how to buy. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
It cuts your purchasing power by about 40%. So in other words, if you could afford a $375,000 house at 3%, now with rates over 7%, you're probably looking at something like a $225,000 house. And there aren't that many of those. That's another key point, is that low inventory plus high rates, we're talking high prices, high rates. It's a tough situation.
We're seeing many more cracks there already than we are on the housing side of it. What's going on with autos?
Subprime auto delinquencies are actually worse now than they were during the Great Recession. And I think that speaks to the impact of higher prices. The average new car price is approaching $50,000. For a lot of people, that means a monthly payment around $800. And with people getting squeezed by inflation in other areas of their lives, not to mention car-related categories like car insurance, which is way up, gas prices have started to tick up. This is why people are falling behind. It's tough to swing that $800 a month payment.
Yeah, so what's next is earnings season. And as opposed to the last year or so, expectations are higher. They're more optimistic. So now you've got to actually bridge that optimism with reality. I personally think there's a chance it falls short. Look, I think the market, I've been cautious in the market for a number of weeks, remain very cautious on it. I've trimmed exposure. Here's the issue. I do believe we go into recession. I don't believe there'll be a soft landing. I'm still amazed by some of the lunacy out there that as recently as a month or two ago, some strategists, some whatever money managers saying the Fed's going to start cutting rates. They're not going to cut rates. They're going to leave rates the way they are. So we've seen a delayed reaction to the massive tightening cycle that we've had. I don't think it gets any better. I think it gets worse. And there are a number of factors. Additionally, inflation is not really under control. Okay, we've had the easy move down from 9% to 3.5%, 4%, pick a number. But guess what? We're poised for it to go higher. Why? Because of energy, because of the UPS strike, because of the UAW strike, because of the Inflation Reduction Act. We haven't even started to deploy capital. Wait till we start doing it. So you've got all the triggers for inflation going higher. So you cannot tolerate rates like that. We're a consumer-driven economy. 2/3 of the economy is driven by consumers. Now you see these cars rolling off leases. So I've had two. Fortunately, I can afford it. But the cost of leasing a car, the cost of buying a car has gone up 20 to 40%. So where do consumers make choices? In addition, you've still seen, while rents may be coming down a little bit in some areas, basically they're still on the rise. So where do you take it from? You got to pay more for energy. Okay, it's not like you've seen grocery prices come down measurably.
Good point.
So it all adds to pressure on the consumer that drives the economy. And guess who's going to pay for the UAW wage increases? You, Bryn, me, Rob. Maybe not Rob, because he's America's guest, so who knows? But in general, it comes to the consumer. That further takes wallet share.
So Weiss, to your point, as if we didn't get the message from Jay Powell, Boston Fed President Susan Collins saying today she feels that we need to keep rates higher for longer. She is a voting member this cycle. So I think you're right. The Fed is just trying to make it clear to the market. Whatever you thought was going to happen, we're trying to make it clear.
Right. So, final word. Past is not prologue, okay? Just because the equity market has held these levels for the top line, lots of stocks have suffered, right? Doesn't mean that's going to continue to be the case. I believe it's a delayed reaction and the markets go lower. They definitely don't go higher.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China. But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.